Those are bona fide scrubs.
On today's Bona Fide Scrubs, it's NBA draft season. We'll evaluate the top talent, discuss potential trades, and do a full lottery mock draft, discussing the future of this draft class in the NBA. We'll also talk Kyrie Irving's situation with Brooklyn and what team we think he will play for in 2023. And welcome to the Bona Fide Scrubs with Noah Levine. I'm Will Swankie. This is episode 7, just 24 hours before the NBA draft. And Noah, our team, the Knicks, they have the 11th pick. I'm just going to open it up for a prediction right here at the beginning. Will they trade the pick? What do you think is going to happen with that?
I don't know. I hope they trade up because apparently they are really interested in Jane Ivey, and every NBA, a lot of teams around the league in the lottery expect them to make an aggressive move up into the top 5 or 6, and they really want Jane Ivey. And I saw this This was very interesting, Will. I saw this on I believe DraftKings Sportsbook. Ivey is the favorite to be selected by the Knicks, and obviously we know he wouldn't be selected at number 11. He wouldn't fall there. He's too good. So maybe Vegas knows something that we don't know. And Ivy is the favorite to be the 4th overall pick on FanDuel. So does that mean a Knicks-Kings trade is coming?
Wow. I mean, that's pretty surprising that they would have that. That might be a good bet to bet against, honestly. Just assume they don't trade with the Kings and pick them to draft him. I feel like that's like free, a free opportunity right there.
Yeah, even if the Kings don't trade with the Knicks, like I'm hearing that they really want to trade down. They really want to trade the pick. So if it's not the Knicks, Ivy might end up on some other team. I don't know who else would make a trade. But the Knicks, I don't know. We always fail, and we're probably going to stay at 11 and draft someone like Johnny Davis or Ben Mathurin. But it's funny. I don't know if I'm the only one who's noticed this about Johnny Davis, but he's the only one out of all these players with a commercial already. He's always in that Taco Bell commercial.
Really?
You didn't notice that? He's the only prospect with a commercial in this draft class. Why'd they give Johnny Davis a Taco Bell commercial before Chet or someone?
Usually they get it like right after the draft. Like that's when
he's
they'll
had it
post
for a
like
few
some
weeks.
Instagram thing.
Since game 1 of the finals, I've been seeing him in the Taco Bell commercial.
Well, he got the bag. Good for him before even being on a team.
Maybe that means he's going to be a star. I think he's going to be really good if he's already getting commercials before everyone else.
All right, well, let's get to it. We'll go through here 1 through 14. I have my nondescript NBA hoodie on today. It's like that Rob Lowe meme with him at the Super Bowl with the NFL hat. That's what I'm. It's my GM clothes today, wearing just a generic NBA sweatshirt. Do you want the first pick, or do you want the second pick?
I don't know. I do want. I want the first pick. I want an easy decision.
Okay. That's hard. The first pick is hard.
You think?
Yeah. Because there's no lock at number 1 yet.
No, from everywhere, Jabari seems like the favorite. I saw the Magic were interested in Paolo a lot. The Magic GM said the other day they're still evaluating things. They don't really know. I don't know if that's a red flag or not, or I don't know if that they want to give away who they're picking, but it doesn't matter because they can get whoever they want. So maybe they're struggling. And back to what you were saying, what you were wearing. I'm wearing a Raptors shirt, Kawhi Leonard shirt. The Raptors chose Scotty Barnes last year. We were dead wrong on that. We're going to be dead wrong on one of these guys in the top 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will take the first pick. I'll be the Orlando Magic.
All right, let's do the draft music. Let's have that ready. Noah and I went to the NBA draft in 2018, and they do not play the music
in person.
Which was so crazy. I was like,
I didn't know that.
The point? Like, why is it just for TV? It's stupid.
Yeah, I know, but that was a fun draft to go to. I mean, seeing Luka, Trey. I mean, that's one of the best draft classes in the past decade, and we got to experience that. Obviously, our Knicks ended up with the 8th pick. Kevin Knox over the Bridges, over Shea. We get it.
Yeah.
But it was still a fun event to see how they conducted the draft and how The media conducted it, and just fun seeing all the players there.
All right, here we go. You have the first pick.
All right, so I'm the Orlando Magic. I'm looking at, we already have a ton of big men. We have Wendell Carter. We got from Chicago last year. We have Mo Bamba, who maybe still has some potential left. I mean, he's just become a meme now because of that song. And we drafted Jalen Suggs last year. We think we have our backcourt in Cole Anthony and Jalen Suggs. We got Franz last year, who's a surprise rookie, who's another wing player. And I think the Magic, they're set on bigs. They have Jonathan Isaac. They're set in the backcourt, which means, we need a tall wing that can score the basketball, and that is why Jabari Smith will be the number 1 pick for me in the Orlando Magic. He's a 6'10" player, incredible shooting ability. I mean, we see most college players not have great percentages, but Jabari Smith had a great 3-point percentage. It was over 40%. You can really see the smooth jumper. I'm not saying he's like Kevin Durant, but he's able to rise above people and just shoot in their face and hit it, and that's a very valuable asset. I mean, when you want to draft someone in the top 3, you want someone with an elite ability, and he has good athleticism, but he has an elite shooting ability from what we saw at Auburn. He does have to work on his ball handling and his passing, his playmaking. It's not good, but not every 19-year-old is going to be the 5-tool type of player. You gotta draft someone with an elite ability in the top 3, and he's elite shooting. And obviously, we talk about it all the time. Basketball is the game of shooting now. We saw Curry and the Warriors dominate from the 3-point line. So the Magic have their backcourt. They think they have their big men, and why not add Jabari Smith on the wing there with Franz, a very tall wing duo that can shoot threes and defend. I think that would be a fun fit for Jabari.
I think that's the right decision.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to go with the other two just because I feel like Jabari Smith is the most NBA ready of the players at the top that are being projected to be taken within the top 3. I just think he's the most NBA ready. We'll get into, I don't want to spoil my analysis of the other players yet, but just for the reasons you laid out, I think he is the most NBA ready. Okay, with the second pick, here we go.
Oh, the Thunder.
With the second pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are going to select Chet Holmgren, number 2 overall. And I think this is just a classic Sam Presti decision. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be me making these picks, and I shouldn't assume
you kind of
what
look like
the
Sam
GM's
Presti.
I do what?
I don't know. I don't know either. I think he has glasses. That's the only reason why I said that.
Yeah, and he's probably white.
Sam Presti.
It fits the description.
No, he kind of looks like Nick Nurse. Wow, he really looks like Nick
does.
Nurse. Look at a picture of Sam Presti. He's a skinnier Nick Nurse. Same kind of glasses.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I look a little like him.
No, you don't have the same hair as him, but
that's funny. Okay.
All right,
it's a classic Presti decision because I mean he already has players like Pokuševski on the team. Chet, to me, he's not afraid. Like Josh Giddey is another one. Like he's not afraid.
Josh Giddey's good.
He is good. He's not afraid to take. Pokuševski's good too. He's not afraid to take these chances with players that need development. He knows his team's schedule. They're a young team, a very young core. He does not need a player that's going to come in and be dominant right away. Obviously, you draft for that. That would be amazing. But he has the patience to take somebody like Chet and develop him with the rest of his team and put them all on the same course to be hitting their strides at the same time. And you look at Chet, obviously his biggest weakness is probably his size and his body. He's obviously very tall, very skinny.
Not size, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's only 195. That goes into
pretty
size
bad
as well. So he's going to need to bulk up at least a little bit, kind of like a Porzingis-style build-up where he didn't grow like Embiid when he got into the league, but Porzingis put on a lot of weight from his rookie season up until his
Porzingis
year 3, year 4.
Had a good rookie year for what it was.
Yep, and Chet could be a similar way to Porzingis, and I just think the defensive upside of having Chet as well, because he's an elite shot blocker. He can still anchor the paint. We'll see what happens in the NBA when he goes up against players that are definitely going to be bigger and stronger than he did in college, but Also, Noah, we know the down low centers in the NBA, other
Don't
than the
exist.
few that are dominant, they don't exist. It doesn't matter. So being
Yeah.
able to protect the paint is important. We have seen that. He has the ability to do that, but he's not going to be facing super talented players down low. More often than not, he'll be playing role players, people that are not as tall as him, is not as quick as him. So he has the opportunity to come into the NBA and be solid right away. That's all he needs to do. And Presti is going to take that chance on the kid that can develop into something great.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people want him to go first. I was listening to the Ringer, Kevin Clark. He's a Magic fan. Maybe he's biased. He wants them to take Shet. And Riv on pick a side. He had the first pick. He took Shet first. He made some good points. I feel like. Do you think Shet will be? Do you think? I mean, both these teams are garbage. Obviously, OKC and Orlando. But can you? I feel like Orlando would be a better fit for him just because he doesn't have to play the 5, and he would get bullied by the other big men. Because I don't know, because Porzingis couldn't play the 5. He never wanted to play center, even though he's 7'3". I feel like it's going to be a similar situation with Chet. I feel he's going to be too weak. I feel like he could become a really good stretch 4, but I feel like his value is a little diminished if he's at the 5, despite his great rim protection. And OKC really doesn't have any other good centers, so I feel like it'd be kind of bad if he was on OKC just because he's thrown into the fire at center. Obviously, with the weight issue. He definitely will be playing on a slightly better team, I guess, with Shea and some really good guards on that team. But Orlando, I feel like they could ease him in there and have Wendell or Bamba play the 5 when he's on the court and just be sort of a stretch big. But he does have fantastic defensive instincts. But I don't know. I feel like Orlando would fit him better. But both these teams are bad. I mean, if he's going to be... I mean, great players overcome bad situations anyways. So if people think he's going to be a superstar, he should be able to come out of OKC with a lot of all-star appearances and stuff like that.
I just feel like Orlando is going to want a player that can come in and like be a ball-dominant player and be more of a traditional wing than a guy like Holmgren, who's going to be, whether he plays the 4 or the 5, he's going to be trying to space the floor, a spot-up shooter, play down low, play in the post. Like, he's not going to be like... Jabari Smith can like isolate on the perimeter. Holmgren can too, but not to the same effect. And it's just more awkward when you're 7 feet and skinny and trying to do like between the legs against good NBA defenders. I just think Jabari Smith has that ability, like the more traditional Kevin Durant wing player style than a player like Chet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Chet, do we think he can be as good as Porzingis? Or if not better?
I think so.
I mean, I think we could project him to be better.
Porzingis' career kind of went like... He already peaked a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you see Chet averaging like 23 points a game?
Eventually?
Yeah, eventually. I mean, because I remember we were talking about Chet briefly like a while ago, and you thought he was going to be bad and just a bust. So, I mean, one of these guys is going to bust, just known draft history. But, I don't know. I mean, Chet, he kind of plays, he plays like he's hunched over. It's kind of funny when you watch him run up and down the court.
Well, yeah, when he's dribbling and he's 7 feet, you kind of have to get closer to the ground.
No, I know, but he's a good shooter. I like that. He's amazing at protecting the paint, even in the tournament against good teams. He's very good at weak side help and blocking shots. He's just a big body. Obviously the strength, but luckily he's not in his full form yet. I mean, he's 19 years old, and I expect him to be pretty decent. I'm not saying he's not my favorite prospect. I don't really want to take a center in the top 3. I mean, we've seen the draft we were at, Will Aiden went first, and you thought he was going to be the next Embiid, and he's kind of fizzling out. He's not really in close to having Embiid's skill set.
He's about to get paid like the next Embiid.
I know, but he's just a rim-running center who can block shots. He doesn't really bring you like amazing offensive skill set like Embiid. I think Chet definitely has a better offensive skill set than Aiden. I think he's a better prospect than Aiden in general, which is kind of interesting that Aiden went first in this class. I mean, I could definitely see Chet going first, but I prefer Jabari, though.
I feel like he's like a Ntilikina, like the highest bust potential, but also the highest all-star potential.
Yeah,
Remember that chart
it's
from
funny.
that draft?
All the whenever I played 2K My Leagues back in the day, Shet would always go first to the Pacers for some reason because the Pacers were always bad.
Yeah.
And he would always average like 27 and 10 and win like 3 MVPs in a row for some reason in my
What?
league every time. He would always
Yeah,
become like a 99.
That's not happening.
I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen, obviously, but it's just kind of funny that simulations love Shet even in a video game.
All right, Mister.
The Rockets.
We're at the Rockets. That's right. All right, here we go.
All right. The Rockets. This is gonna be sort of a not really a no-brainer, but it's kind of the third guy out of the top three, the worst player probably of the three, who played at Duke. Paolo Banchero. This team does need a point guard. I wouldn't mind if they went Jay and Ivy here, but they believe Kevin Porter can be their guard. We saw Jalen Green at the 2 play very well at the end of last year. I did make a video on why he's going to be a superstar. You guys can check that out. They don't really have anything else. Christian Wood, they just traded away for nothing. I think Jalen Green and Paolo would be a very nice 1-2 wing punch, because we see a lot of teams with 2 wings become successful. We saw it this year. Well, Tatum and Brown. I mean, shooting guard, small forward. Both of them can handle the ball, score, shoot. I mean, why can't Paolo and Jalen Green be them in the future? I could see that. So I think just taking the best player available. Obviously, he didn't shoot that well from 3 at Duke, but he's a really athletic 6'10" player that can handle the ball. I like his dribbling ability. The thing I really liked was his shot creation. I think he has better shot creation than Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith struggled with his handles a little bit. I felt like Paolo was more comfortable in space with the ball, with limited space. So I like that pick for the Rockets. I think Jalen Green and Paolo could be 2 really good wings you could build off of for years to come, just like Boston did with Brown and Tatum.
And the legend of the 3rd overall pick, will it continue? Will Banchero become the best, like most of the 3rd overall picks do?
RJ has not become the best so far, but Luka was the 3rd pick. Bradley Beal was the 3rd pick in 2012. Okafor went there in 2015, though.
But Jason Tatum was the 3rd pick, and their stats at Duke are pretty similar. Banchero averaged 17.
Oh, LaMelo. LaMelo was the 3rd pick.
Yeah, see? And Wiseman was trash with center, too, so okay. Look at these stats, Tatum and Banchero at Duke. Banchero 17 points, Tatum 16.8, almost the same. Tatum 7 rebounds, Banchero 7.7 rebounds. Tatum with 2 assists, Banchero with 3. Banchero shot 32% from the field, or from 3, 32% from 3. Tatum shot 34% from 3. So I mean, it's pretty much the exact same stats, both in 1 year.
And neither of them really jumped off the page to me watching them at Duke.
Who was the first pick in Tatum's draft? Fultz?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It went Fultz, Lonzo, Tatum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny draft, having 2 point guards being taken.
Now we're done with the top 3. I have to ask the question, out of Jabari, Shet, and Paolo, who's going to have the best career out of those guys? Who are you banking on?
It's so hard. It's the reason why none of them are being locked in at number 1. People just don't know. And I feel like they're all so equal in terms of the future of their career. I feel like Chet has the highest ceiling because I feel like he's the least complete player now, and he's already being taken, whether 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. So they're very high on his potential, all the NBA GMs, and they think that he can develop into a great player. And really, the best thing going for him is that his weakest aspects are the physical aspects, his strength. So you can build that up. It's not like he has to develop some skill set that he doesn't have yet. So that's one thing going for him that he really can bank on. Also, he's the best defensive player of the 3 already. So he dominates that side of the ball as well. But I don't know, Jabari Smith, something about his game. I just feel like at 6'10", with the 3-point shooting ability that he has, being the scorer that he is,
from downtown,
he's younger than both of them. I just think it seems like he's setting himself up to have the best career. If he does go to the Orlando Magic, though, it'll be interesting to see what happens because I think we had this theory on the pod recently about how it kind of depends on what team you get drafted to and the organization that you go to. Another thing going for Chet, if he goes second, is going to the Thunder with Presti and with that core. I feel like that also sets him up for success because that core will develop together. They're already pretty decent with those few players that they have, and Presti just knows what he's doing. And I feel like organizations that have strong leadership have the ability to develop players and make them great. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Banchero. I feel like he's the person I left out here.
Yeah, I feel like he's the worst.
But I'll probably go Jabari Smith, but Chet has a lot of things going for him.
Yeah, which is kind of a 180 from what you had before. And I'm looking at Kevin O'Connor's mock draft from The Ringer. He thinks Paolo's the best player on his big board. He has them.
Really?
He has shades of Chris Webber and Julius Randle in his game.
Didn't he have Killian Hayes as the best player on his board like last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think he was like top
thing?
3. Yeah, I don't know. He likes that he's a fluid ball handler with good footwork, as I mentioned. Changes pace. His minuses: defensive effort, just inconsistency and shot selection sometimes. But I feel like everyone has bad shot selection in college. I mean, if you're the best player on your team, you're just going to take bad shots. You're going to take a lot of shots because they need you to score. But he had Jabari's second, which shades of Michael Porter and taller Harrison Barnes. And I talked about, plus his undeniable jump shot. I mean, Bruce Pearl said that Jabari is the best player he's ever coached. And
that's true, because he's being taken number 1.
Yeah, Jabari's minuses, as I mentioned earlier, he doesn't have the tightest handle. There's tightness to Smith's lower body on drives to the rim, which limits his fluidity. This is where the MPJ comparison comes from. I mean, Michael Porter, luckily for Jabari Smith, he does not have lingering back injuries coming into the NBA, so he definitely could be able to move better than Porter. Porter's not a bad player, just not worth the first overall pick in hindsight. Maybe before the injuries, he would have went number 1. We'll never know. Now he's out again, but yeah, I think Jabari is gonna have the best career out of these guys. I mean, Chet has the second best jumper. Paolo's the worst jumper. I'm gonna go with the guy with the best shooting and scoring ability. Because the game is about scoring and shooting, and I believe Jabari could develop his handle later on. I mean, Jaylen Brown and Tatum didn't really have good handles coming into the league. They developed that, so I think Jabari just got to get that a little better, become more aggressive on drives, and I think he'll be I could see him being a first-team All-NBA guy in the future. He could take over games with his scoring ability.
I agree.
All right, the 4th pick is the Kings.
I have the 4th pick.
Yeah, you have the 4th pick. Will you do? Will we do trades or not?
I have a trade to announce.
Oh wow! Adam Silver came out and announced the trade.
Yep.
Who's trading up?
The Sacramento Kings are trading the 4th overall pick to the New York Knicks.
Wow, it's happening.
In exchange for Julius Randle, the 11th overall pick in the 2022 draft, and 2 protected future first-round draft picks.
I like that deal for the Knicks. And who the Knicks select number 4?
The next draft, you can't trade in consecutive drafts, so the 2024 draft will be.
Will they give up? Do they have a Mavs pick or no?
The 2024 draft will be a top. It'll be a lottery protected pick, or what, or I don't know what's
top
better for the
protected.
Kings.
Probably
top 10 protected.
Yeah,
and then the 2025 will be top 3 protected.
Okay, top 3 protected. Perfect. I like that move. Who are the Knicks selecting? Will Leon Rose get his guy?
And with that, the New York Knicks select Jaden Ivey 4th overall. So no deviations there. Ivey goes 4th to the Knicks. They sacrifice 3 draft picks to get him on their team and their best player currently. Because it seems like... What?
Would you do that do you want them to do all that to get Jane Ivy? What do you? I know you just did it, but do you actually want that to happen?
I don't know if I want it to happen. I think if you're the Knicks, I would be trading all that stuff for Donovan Mitchell for another All-Star. I don't know if I would go and get a rookie with all those things.
That's
but I don't
fair.
hate it. I did it because I don't hate it.
Okay. Sacramento moves back to 11.
Yes. Jaden Ivey. All right, now he's on the Knicks. No deviations here so far. We pretty much went pretty chalk for the top 4. And Ivy, I mean, he is the wild card of this draft because I feel like his stock has just skyrocketed. The top 3 have been pretty much locked in since even the college season. So we kind of knew that was happening, but Ivy's the one guy that has overcome the rest of the pool to rise to that, almost in that category of those top 3 guys. And he's the only guard of the 3. He kind of reminds me a little bit of like a more athletic Darius Garland, if I'm being honest. Like,
Sounds
I feel like
good. That's good for me.
Yeah.
Garland went 5th his year, and he was an All-Star this year, right?
I'm down for that.
He?
Yep, he was an All-Star.
Yeah, I
mean, 17 points per game, 37% from 3, just 3 assists. So, I mean, that's not great. You get that up playing with NBA players, obviously, than college teammates. But he's very athletic.
Yeah.
I just think that maybe a De'Aaron Fox is another comparison for him.
I like that.
That was my big move of the draft, getting the Knicks the 4th overall pick.
Before we dive deeper into Ivy, let's look at it from the Kings' perspective. Why would you do this trade if you were the Kings? Obviously, they don't need Jay and Ivy. They have Fox and Davion Mitchell. They have Sabonis, but why would they put yourself in the Kings' shoes for a second? Why would you want Randall and all those picks when you have Sabonis already? Like, why would the Kings realistically do this?
I just think if you're not getting Ivy, the rest of the players after that are not as good as him.
That's
so you're
true.
kind of just...
They don't need him, yeah.
You don't need to take one of those players 4th overall. You're getting 3 picks from
That's
the Knicks
true.
for
You're
this.
still in the lottery.
You could get the player you could get at 5. Like,
could be as good as 11,
the Kings... Yeah, exactly. It could be as good as the 11th pick. So I just think that they're not sacrificing very much to get 3 draft picks and a good starter again added to their team. I guess there would have to be other players to make the salary work. I don't know. I'm not worrying about that right now. They could throw in, whatever to even out the money. But I just think that they don't have to risk that much to get a lot in return. I think that's why they would do it. I don't think they would do just Randall and the 11th pick because I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, I agree.
In their eyes, I think it's just stupid. Like you're taking on a salary and you're trading back in the draft when you're a bad team. But if you get those 3 draft picks, I mean, that's kind of a heist for the 4th overall pick.
Yeah, especially, I mean, NBA picks aren't valued that highly unless it's in the top 5. And I think that'd be kind of a steal even for the Knicks' perspective if they were able to pull that off. What if they're good in a couple of years? I mean, what if they're bad? But still, as you mentioned, your picks are going to be lottery protected. I don't know if they will be when Leon Rose gives them away, but
I know that's risky.
Top 3 protected. But yeah, let's talk about Jay and Ivy for a second here. So he averaged 11 points his freshman year. He's a sophomore. He was pretty bad all across the board. But I was digging into his career. He was only like the 82nd best recruit in the country, not even a 5-star. So I did like to hear that he was able to get better in 2 years, become a top 5 pick. I mean, he was never on anyone's radar last year, as a freshman. Nobody probably thought he was going to be an NBA player. Similar to what like John Morant was. I'm not saying he's going to be John Morant, but nobody knew who John Morant was until his sophomore year, where he exploded onto the scene at Murray State. And Jane Ivey has elite athleticism. I do like that. Our friend Thomas thinks that he has a higher ceiling than RJ Barrett. I don't know if that's true necessarily.
I mean, if I call him Garland, then I guess he would technically, but I don't know. I think RJ could be an all-star next year. I think he's going to average 23 points per game in that
Yeah.
range. I don't know if Ivy will do that in year 4. Maybe.
Yeah. I think he reminds me of John Moran, De'Aaron Fox more than Garland. He's a worse shooter than Garland. But he's so explosive and can get to the rim whenever he wants. He actually does jump off the page. Personally, I think he's the second or third best. I think he's better than Paolo, and I could even make an argument that I would rather have him than Chet in some universe. I'm not saying he would go second ever, but I just like the guy with a lot of athleticism. He can finish at the rim, and his jumper looks good. I mean, 36% from 3, as you mentioned. There's no reason why he can't get better with a good form. I mean, RJ was not a good three-point shooter, and look what he became. I mean, he shot 40% one year. Obviously went down this year, but I like Jaden Ivey. Just the pure athleticism and playmaking ability. I mean, 3 assists is not that good, but I think he'll be able to do more. But I feel like he's more of a combo guard than a point guard. So I don't know where he would fit on the Knicks. Maybe he could learn to play point guard, of course, but I see him more as a Donovan Mitchell type player, guy who can handle the ball and score, which is fine with me. We need someone that good, but he reminds me of Donovan Mitchell and De'Aaron Fox a lot, and I like his game a lot. As I sensed before, you want an elite level ability if you're drafting the top 5, and he checks that box with athleticism, like Jabari with the shooting, Shep with the defensive and height. Ivy has the athleticism, so there's no reason why he can't become a good pro in like 3 years.
Yeah, I don't care that he's not a pass first point guard.
I don't care either. I want my
Yeah,
guys
it doesn't
to be able to
matter.
score. He can average 6 assists, and that's fine with me.
I mean, that's a lot for a rookie. I don't think he'll get to
Oh
that.
no, I'm not saying I'm saying down the road. I mean, RJ is gonna have the ball more. If we're looking at the Knicks' perspective, Ivy and Bear would be the backcourt, I guess. Or no, I mean they would have Fournier still. So I guess they would start Ivy, Fournier, Barrett. I mean that seems kind of weird. And then Obi Toppin and Mitch. Thomas claimed that was a playoff team, but instead he had Cam Reddish at small forward, who's garbage. I would put him in this deal instead of a first if we could.
Or how about this galaxy brain? We do the trade for Ivy that I made, and then we sign Bradley Beal with our newfound cap space.
He opted out?
I think so. I have to confirm that.
But that's
I
even
thought
weirder.
I saw it today.
Ivy, Bradley Beal, and Barrett, that's 3 guys, and none of them are going to pass.
I
They're
mean,
going
yeah,
to all
that
try
would
to
be
score.
crazy.
Okay, if you do that, you have to bring in a veteran point guard, and I think Ivy has to come off the bench then.
Well, what about Derrick Rose? He could just be the point guard.
Just start.
What are we talking about? Tibbs would never start Ivy anyway, and he would he'd be fine starting Derrick Rose.
Perfect. That's fine with me. Ivy and Quickly can grow on the bench together. That would be a fun bench.
Okay, I have the confirmed Bradley Beal stuff. It was reported that he opted out, and then he quote tweeted it and said what? So I don't know what I don't know what that means.
He likes Washington a lot. That's the thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. Apparently, according to him, he's shocked at his reported opt out. So I guess
it was funny.
I guess not.
It was funny that Kevin O'Connor has him 5th. It was funny that you mentioned it says there's shades of Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Oladipo.
Yeah.
It's this. So he's 20 years old. He's only 6'4", which is kind of Donovan Mitchell's height. It's this powerful guard with an elite first step and the kind of electric shot-making ability that could make him a star, but needs to improve his defense. All right, I don't buy much stock into anyone's defense when I draft them, because defense is all effort. I don't care. You don't draft defensive players in the top 5 at Patrick Williams, at Isaac Okoro, because they don't have an
Patrick Williams
ability.
became a fine role player, but he was the 4th overall pick. Like, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, I'm not looking for an 8th man with the 4th overall pick.
Yeah, and Okoro is horrible.
If the Knicks have to believe in this guy, if they're gonna move 3 first and their best, like, you have to go all in and give him the keys.
Yeah.
We usually never see many trade ups in the NBA draft, but that could be an interesting one.
I mean, it could happen after. Like, they could just draft him and trade the rights after. Like, that's usually what happens.
Yeah, so he's a dynamic shot creator. It says he has the quickest first steps in the draft. He can use step backs or pull-ups. I like that. 33% off the dribble from 3. That's not great, but you don't expect him to be an amazing shooter right away. 35% from catch and shoot. His minuses was defense. Doesn't really care about it that much. But he's a 6'9" wingspan, which is exactly kind of like Donovan Mitchell. Short, really athletic guy with a big wingspan. So I'm buying it. He's going to be really good. Donovan Mitchell's not known for his defense, but if Ivy can get us 25 a night, get to the rim, make some plays, he should be a good player. All right, so we're on the 5th pick now. Before we dive into that real quick, I did look up Donovan Mitchell's wingspan because I was talking about it. Guess what his wingspan is?
7 feet.
6'10", and he's like.
Oh, it actually is
like
close to that.
Yeah, so he's only like 6'2", so Ivy's 6'4" with a 6'9" wingspan. So yeah, book it. He's the next Donovan Mitchell. That's what it means.
I said 7 feet as a joke, but okay.
It's close. All right, on to the 5th pick. Pistons. Let's go.
Okay, sorry, I gotta get my sound up. Here we go.
And with the 5th pick, the Detroit Pistons are going to select Shaedon Sharpe out of Kentucky.
Okay, I've seen this before.
The first potential surprise. Shaedon Sharpe. I was researching him and watching him. Okay, so he didn't play a game at Kentucky this year. I don't know if you knew that. He was the number 1 player in the class of 2022. He reclassed up and came this season. Kentucky didn't play, sat out due to injuries. But he was a really talented player in high school. He's only 19. He's from Canada. I was trying to find this quote. I saw this GM quote on Twitter. Some anonymous GM believes that he could be the best player in the draft. Some people are really high on him. Some guy was saying I would take the gamble on him even if I get fired in like 5 years. I think it's worth the gamble.
Really?
Yeah, I was reading that from someone. So people are high on him. I don't think he's going to go top 3, but I think more like the 5 to 8 range is where people see him going. Just because we don't have much data on him, Will. I mean, he didn't play a single college game. It's kind of a red flag. But he was a talented player in high school. He's basically going from high school to the NBA. He's 19. It claims he's 6'6" on Google, but on Kevin O'Connor's mock, it's 6'4". I don't know who's right. We'll have to get those official measurements out, but he's an elite scorer, really good shooter with athleticism. I feel like he has all the tools. That's what everyone's saying about him. His off-ball defense is bad. That's one of his minuses on this. But plus, he could score the hell out of the ball. Isolations, can shoot, can drive to the basket. I was watching some of his highlights. He looks like a great player. If I'm Detroit, I mean, all the top 4 guys are gone. Sort of like the quote-unquote guaranteed good players. And Shaedon Sharpe, you might as well take a flyer on him. If you're Detroit, you have Cade already. Killian Hayes has not worked out thus far. Pairing Shaedon Sharpe in the backcourt, Cade, both of them can handle the ball, shoot, and score. I mean, that'd be a dream scenario if Shaedon Sharpe becomes an elite player with Cade in the backcourt for Detroit.
This is the type of draft pick that I despise. Risking it on a player that didn't even play in college. I'm already a person that tends to lean more towards the older players in college and their experience. I think.
Oh, screw that.
Chasing high school stars and prospects is almost always a disaster. You can't rely on that.
It kind of is. He was the number 1 player for what it's worth.
How many players that are insane in high school, first of all, go to the NCAA and fail and don't end up being top 10 picks and drop down to low first round, second round. And then also think about the players that are insane in high school, are lottery picks, and then flop in the NBA. I feel like both of those scenarios are way more likely than him becoming insane and just after not playing for a year.
He is a guard. He is not a center. He does have that going for him. He could be brought along.
I guess.
I think it's insane that he might be a top 5 pick without playing a single game at high school. I think that just shows how talented he is. That's kind of impressive if you want to look at it from through that lens.
I want to look at...
Because what if he did play in college? I mean, maybe his stock would be worse. Maybe be better. I I know other people like Jalen Green didn't take the college route. I mean, I would have liked to see Shane Sharp play in the G League. Maybe he should have tried to do that, but he was hurt. I don't know. I feel like he's I'm not saying he reminds me of Kuminga. I feel like he's just a Kuminga type prospect that could be brought along. He's not gonna be amazing from day one, but he could be brought along and potentially become good.
Let's take a look at the ESPN Top 100 from 2019, and just at random. I am not picking this for any reason. Let's just go down the lottery, the top 14. If this was an NBA draft, number 1 was James Wiseman, gets taken second.
Yeah.
I mean, his career is up in the air, but I mean, if you just took him,
he's a TBD, I guess. I mean, all these guys are TBD.
If you took him number 1, you would be sad. Number 2 is Cole Anthony. Ends up being a lottery pick.
All right, he's pretty
from North Carolina. Decent role player, but would you be happy if this guy you're taking became Cole Anthony?
No, I would not.
In the NBA.
Well,
okay.
Well, all right. Well, it's a gamble if you're Detroit at 5. I mean, there's nobody that great outside of top 4. So if he did become Cole Anthony, it wouldn't be the worst thing for the Pistons. But yeah, I would like him to be better. You're right.
Number 3 is Isaiah Stewart, now on the Pistons. Their center.
He's all right. Nothing special.
Yeah, but the 3rd overall prospect in high school. Number 4, Anthony Edwards, the eventual number 1 pick. Seems like that worked out. RJ Hampton is the 5th ranked player.
Yeah, he's not. He's on the Magic bench. He could be decent, maybe.
Vernon Carey Jr. Is he still not even in the NBA?
I don't know what team he's on. He's on some team, maybe.
Jaden McDaniels at 7.
Is he on the Timberwolves? I know there's a Jaden and Jalen McDaniels, so one of them is pretty good.
I think Jaden's on the Timberwolves.
Is the Timberwolves one better than the Hornets one? I think so. He played minutes in the playoffs this year. He's not bad. He's not a bad player.
Josh Green, 8th.
On the Mavs bench, doing nothing.
Nico Mannion, 9th, my favorite.
He's in Italy.
Yeah,
he's on the Warriors, and he's good in Italy now.
And he would have been a bust if he was taken. I remember you hyping him up. Because he was hyping him up.
Travis Scott went to his game. That means something.
Yeah, exactly. In high school, it's worthless. Everything is worthless. Scotty Lewis, 10th, are the hometown.
Oh, he's terrible. He was like the 50-something pick for the Hornets.
And then the rest. Maxey was the 13th.
Maxey's really good. Player. Maxey was like the 20-something pick. He's a really good player, actually.
But the rest of them
are bad.
Have not played out. So
LaMelo was 21st. They slept on LaMelo. He's the best player of all these guys.
So it doesn't matter where you're ranked in high school.
Your favorite player, Patrick Williams, was 27th or 28th.
Yeah, see? And he became the 4th overall pick. So...
Yep. Isaac Okoro, 40th.
Bruh.
Cockburn was 50th, and he's going to get drafted this year.
So my point is, it doesn't matter where you're ranked.
No, I'm not saying that ranking matters, but like he seems really good. I'm excited to see him play on an NBA team. He doesn't have to start and play all the minutes, but just got to learn how to play in an NBA environment. He's got the talent. We'll see if he puts it together. So I'm taking the gamble if I'm the Pistons or any team from 5 to 8. If he becomes a superstar, that's a win. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine. I mean, there was some red flags coming in, and you're not expecting to get a Hall of Famer with the 7th pick or 5th pick, always.
All right, the Indiana Pacers at 6. And with the 6th pick, I will take Keegan Murray out of Iowa.
I don't really like
Midwest. Him. The Midwest boy stays in the Midwest, goes to Indiana. And the Pacers, I don't know. This just feels like a Pacers pick going with the Midwest player. He's one of the oldest players in the lottery at almost 22 years old. They took, who'd they take last year? That was an older player.
Duarte is
right.
Good. They stole him from
and he's
us.
Pretty good.
I like Duarte. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Murray, almost a similar player. Obviously, he's a bigger player. He's a forward. To me, I mean, this pick is just ridiculous in itself because they traded away Sabonis, which
for this
could have been.
They got Halliburton. Okay, well, Halliburton is really good.
Yeah,
maybe it was worth become an all-star. Yeah, you think he could become an all-star.
So if they got rid of Sabonis to bring in Halliburton, now they have that hole to fill. I feel like Murray is a decent player to do that. He is a knockdown shooter, a floor spacer.
I don't really like him.
He led. What did he lead? Did he lead college in scoring? Is that what happened?
Something like that. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
23
and
a game.
He's a pretty good defender. I think he's a better defender than Sabonis. I mean, obviously, in the NBA, we'll see.
Sabonis is a really bad defender.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think for the Pacers, they have this hole there. I'm not a fan of drafting for team need in the lottery, but at the 6th pick, you're kind of getting into that territory where you can, and their team's pretty solid already. I mean, they could be running a starting lineup.
I kind of like their roster for
their
right
starting
now.
lineup next year could be Halliburton, Brogdon, Duarte,
Hield,
Murray,
Buddy Hield too,
and Miles Turner at center. I mean, that 5 is
That's
all
not a bad
good
team.
defenders. All good defenders.
I like that team.
Everybody
but,
can shoot.
Wait, hold on. They do want to trade Brogdon for a pick into the lottery again. Would you like?
Really?
They really want to get rid of Brogdon. That's what I've been reading. They would trade him for like the 12th pick or something if they could. I mean, if you're the Knicks,
I'll do it.
Would you trade straight up 11 for him?
Yes.
He makes 20 mil, the same money maybe Brunson would make a year. Would you rather have Jalen Brunson or Malcolm Brogdon if you were the Knicks? This is an interesting debate.
Oh, that is an interesting debate.
I'm
Malcolm Brogdon.
All right, you think Brogdon's better? All right, I'm looking at the stats.
I think he's a better defender. I think he's put it together more. Brunson had a breakout year and a contract year.
That's
I don't
true.
know. I think I trust Brogdon's consistency more.
I agree. I think he's more proven. He averaged 19, 6, and 5, 45 from the field, 85 from the line. 31% from 3 is not great.
And he makes less money, too. He's going to make less money.
But we've seen that he has shot 40% from 3 every year of his career. So I'm with you. I think I would trust Malcolm Brogdon. I think it'd be a steal if we trade just the 11th pick for him. I feel like that's what... Because Indiana wants to dump his salary. They want to dump him. And they want another pick in the lottery to build around Halliburton. So I feel like that'd be a fair trade. Brogdon and the Knicks would be cool. What other teams could trade for Brogdon in the lottery? Like, what team needs him? Like, the Pistons could theoretically trade I wouldn't trade the 5th pick for him, but like that's a team that would use him, I think. Maybe Portland. I don't know. Portland. I don't know. Brogdon and Dame. Maybe they could play together. They don't have CJ anymore there. The Spurs. I feel like the Spurs. I would do that if I was the Spurs. Having DeJounte Murray and him would be a good duo.
Brogdon's a very Spurs player for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Greg Popovich should pick up the phone and get Brogdon. The Pelicans could use Brogdon. I mean, who's their point guard right now? I'm blanking. Do they have a good point guard?
Well, McCollum.
They have McCollum.
Oh, it's
and
Devontae Graham.
Graham. Brogdon's better than him. So, the Wizards could use him. Maybe someone was saying that Malcolm Brogdon and Beal should be like the Wizards should do that and have them as a duo. That'd be a fun team.
I mean, I guess,
yeah. But if I'm the Knicks, if I can't get Ivy, I will call the Pacers and get Malcolm Brogdon because we don't have
maybe that's even better. Maybe you just give him 1 pick and you don't even give Randall.
I know.
Maybe they have to for the salary. I don't know.
Maybe not. All right. Maybe you have to give away Fournier. I don't know. But if you did have Malcolm Brogdon, RJ, Fournier, Randall, and Mitch, I mean, that team could be a play-in team.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Brogdon's a huge upgrade over the traffic cone Kemba defense, and he can actually score and not score 30 points and score 2 the next game. At least Brogdon's like consistently good at both sides. I think that'd be a fun fit. It's obviously more exciting and more flashy to have Ivy and the more exciting player, but I don't know. If you're the Knicks, you might just have to shoot for the stars and get Ivy. Because Malcolm Brogdon, we know what he is. He can't get any better. He can only get worse from here on out, actually. So, and I don't want to be a fringe play-in team forever.
I have a player that I want to draft, but I feel like you're gonna take him here. So
7.
let's just go for it.
All right, the Blazers. I am gonna take someone that's kind of high here, actually.
Okay.
We're going to take AJ Griffin 7th. out of Duke.
Okay, not what I was going to do for sure.
I think AJ Griffin's a good player. Obviously he's 18. He's really young, 6'6". He did miss 2 years of high school due to injuries. He is a really good shooter, 48% from 3. 4 attempts a game. He dribbles well. I feel like I want to see more of him at Duke. He only averaged 10, but he does have an elite shooting ability and a pretty good ball handling ability. They say he could be like Jimmy Butler. This is according to this. Shades of T.J. Warren, Jaylen Brown. I think he'd be a fine wing role player, and I feel like that's what Portland could use next to Dame. I'm hearing that Portland really wants Shaedon Sharpe. I think that'd be a really fun fit for him. Shaedon Sharpe and Dame, learning from Dame. That'd be a fun backcourt to replace CJ, but obviously I already took Shaedon Sharpe at 5, so... And I'm really high on the other guys. I'm going to take a gamble on AJ Griffin, who's so young. We know he has a good shooting ability and he can get to the basket, so why not have him play with Dame, where your life will be a lot easier. You'll be open for more shots. So let's go. AJ Griffin to Portland.
All right. Yeah, I mean, they have been a team in the past that has taken gambles before. They took Anthony Simons 19th a few drafts ago, and it worked out.
Yeah, they got Simons, AJ Griffin, and Dame as your three best players. It's not bad. And then Nurkic down low.
Yeah, they're not shy to
I know that
take potential.
Yeah, AJ Griffin did work out for the Knicks. I mean, he's really supposed to go in the 9 to 11 range. But I took him early. I like him more than some of these other guys, to be honest. So why not? He's 18. It can work out.
Okay, who is next? The New Orleans Pelicans. They're an interesting team because they made the play-in.
They have some assets. Ingram,
all-stars. I mean, McCollum's on the
They have Zion.
fringe.
If Zion comes back,
They
I
have
said they're going to be a
Zion
top
and
6
Brandon
seed.
Ingram.
They're going to be a top 6 seed next year.
Yeah. All right. They needed a draft pick. All right. With this pick, the New Orleans Pelicans at 8 get a steal, in my opinion. And they're going to take Benedict Mathurin, 8th overall.
I almost took him, but I took
the wing
Griffin
out of Arizona. Mathurin, 17 points per game, almost 40% from 3, 6 rebounds. To me, this gives the Pelicans an opportunity to test McCollum, a point guard. You could put Mathurin at the 2 if you want. I mean, obviously, you could just bring him off the bench.
Ben's a point guard.
I don't know, Mathurin, he fits with their sort of run-and-gun style, their fast-paced offense. He's decently athletic. He can make shots off the dribble. The one downside for him is he's not a great defender, and the Pelicans' defense is already
really
not great.
Yeah.
You're adding that there.
Well, actually,
but
they played pretty good defense the second half under their new coach. I forgot his name. They actually improved a lot, like, the second half of the year. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I remember reading that.
Mm-hmm.
Herb Jones is a good defender, but yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like he fits in with their very fast-paced style, and he'll be in the backcourt either with McCollum or off the bench as a 6th man. I feel like that could just be exciting for them, and getting him at the 8th overall pick, I feel like is definitely a steal there, having him fall as a 17 points per game scorer. So he gets an opportunity to play with Zion, to play with Brandon Ingram, and he stays down south. I guess Arizona's not really in the south, but
that's on the West Coast. Yeah.
It's not on the West Coast, but
well, basically is. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
9th pick. It is
okay.
the Spurs.
It's the Spurs.
I have a trade to announce.
Oh my.
The Spurs are going to be trading the 9th pick and if I can find the right player here, gotta find the roster. They will give up the 9th pick and Lonnie Walker for Malcolm Brogdon to the Pacers. The Pacers get their wish. They get him back into the lottery. They have the 9th. And this is This is the Pacers pick now, and the Spurs have Brogdon, DeJounte Murray, and Keldon Johnson to build around.
That's a good trade.
Yeah. And they get Lonnie Walker, another little young asset.
When did the Spurs take Lonnie Walker? Like 10th?
2018.
Oh, no, he was like way
like
later.
17th
like,
or 20th.
Yeah, like 15. Yeah.
And the Pacers, they're going to take it, since they already got their guy in Keegan Murray, an older player, they're now going to gamble and take a younger player who played in the G League Ignite this year, Dyson Daniels, who's 19.
Yeah.
The Australian playmaker. I tried finding his stats. He averaged 11 this year. I didn't really watch that much of him, but it says he has shades of Evan Turner and Kyle Anderson. That seems pretty bad, actually, if you ask me. But it's the Pacers. They're going to take a gamble. He shot 30%
Evan Turner
from
wouldn't
three,
be bad.
but he shot 53% from the line. That's disgusting if you
that
want to
is
be a good
horrible.
NBA player. But he's got a good passing ability. He shot well from the field. Passing is his real appeal. He's a 6'6" guard. Indiana got Keegan Murray. Might as well take a shot at the younger player Dyson Daniels and bring him along with Halliburton in the backcourt and those guys. So Indiana will have Dyson Daniels.
All right, here we go. I'm taking notes for our list here so we can read it off at the end. So let me just get that in there. Daniels goes 9th.
To the Pacers.
All right.
You got to write the teams. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, wait. I got to put that in. All right, so the 10th pick. Here, yeah, you do it. The 10th pick is the damn Washington Wizards. Okay, interesting.
Do you have the clip? You don't?
Oh, I might have it. No, I don't have it in this folder, sadly. I put stuff in here that I think we would be used, like, that's more ambiguous. Like the damn Wizards, we would only ever play just talking about the Wizards. So
who are the Wizards gonna take?
Come on. All right, with the 10th pick, the damn Washington Wizards are going to take the guy with the commercial, the Taco Bell guy himself, Johnny Davis.
Wow, that doesn't really fit what they're doing. Interesting.
Because, I don't know, Bradley Beal,
Maybe
he might be
out.
gone. And they're going to need a player to come in and be a two guard and be a wing scorer. And Davis, he averaged 20 points at Wisconsin. 8 rebounds as well, so he's not a bad rebounder or defender at that. So they could add another player there. And this is a team that slowly is headed towards a rebuild if they lose their best player. I mean, they acquired Porzingis in a strange trade in the middle of the year.
I forgot about they got Porzingis.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Forgot
their
about
lineup, I want to read their lineup.
It's bad.
If we do this move for Johnny Davis, because it is a weird team. So, yeah, I mean, they did the Lakers deal with Kuzma, too. So, I mean, yeah, they have no point guard. That's their problem. They would have Ish Smith or Satoransky as their point guard.
I love
which
you
is
know
pretty
I love
bad.
Ish Smith, and so does Clyde.
I know. So I guess it would be Ish Smith, Davis, Kispert, Tingus Pingus, and then Thomas
That's a
Bryant
weird
coming
team.
back off their ACL. And they also, I mean, their bench isn't bad. Hachimura, Avdia,
I'm surprised you took Johnny Davis here.
Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, I just think they're gonna be a little risk adverse with
If
Beal's situation.
yeah, I mean, if the Knicks stay at 11, I'd expect them to probably end up with Johnny Davis or someone like that.
Really, do you think they would go with like a 2-guard wing at that spot?
Maybe. He worked out for them. I think they like him.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
Because you could put Barrett at the 3 then and have him play and kill Fournier.
the Wizards need guards really bad, and
Yeah.
right now I feel like we're coming up on like forward row here and centers. So
Yeah.
there's
I think
actually
I have the perfect player
I-
for the Kings at 11.
I could have gone with a different play here that I'm thinking about now, but it's too late. I'll have to take them
You
later.
might be fired in a year. Hopefully Johnny Davis pans out for your
I
Wizards.
might get fired. We'll see. That's why I'm not repping a team. I have my generic hoodie.
I'm repping the Raptors, but we don't have a lottery pick this year because we were good this year.
All right, the Kings, they get the 11th pick now.
From the Knicks. The Sacramento Kings, they traded back. No Jaden Ivey for them, which means they don't have any big men on this team. I mean, they have Sabonis, who's bad at defense. Rashawn Holmes is an undersized center. He's a nice player. Can't really defend that well. That's why they're going to take Jalen Duran out of Memphis, the perfect pick from the trade down. He can take a lot of pressure defensively off of Sabonis. This team needs defense, and Jalen Duran and Sabonis would be a nice tandem as their big men. They already got their backcourt solidified with Fox and Mitchell. They need that center, that rim protector center. They haven't had that in a long time. So Jalen Duran out of Memphis, the young buck, 6'10", 18 and a half years old, explosive shot blocker, shades of Robert Williams and DeAndre Jordan. I think he could fit there well. I think Sacramento trades down Jalen Duran. That's a real need for their team, and they picked up those 3 picks from the Knicks and Randall. So
yeah, it's not bad. They do have Rashawn Holmes, who averaged 10 and 7 last year.
Yeah, he's a little undersized though. He's not a rim protector.
No, that's true. He's 6'10", not a great defender. Obviously, if you believe in Durant or any of the centers here to have potential, you'll take them instead. It's not like Holmes is worth not doing that.
Yeah. Now with the Kings, are they going to play Randall at small forward now that he's on their team?
Are they going to be a Cavs and have like a 3 center line? I think they could bring Durant off the bench and go small.
They're putting a storm off the bench, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the front court of Randall and Sabonis is terrible on defense. It would be a disgrace. But the Kings are not worried about defense right now. They just need to be better at everything. All right, with the 12th pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder, with their second pick of the lottery, are going to take Ochai Agbaji, 12th overall out of Kansas.
Oh, him.
He is the tournament darling of this draft, a senior on the eventual champions that played his way into the lottery in the tournament. I mean, he was excellent all tournament long throughout the season as well. Averaged almost 20 points this season at Kansas, 40% from 3. This is just a solid player, an NBA-ready player you're getting here at 12. The Thunder, we know how obsessed they are with potential and with youth. They finally get to have a little bit more of an older player here in this draft, and they already took Chet number 2 here, so they don't need a center, they don't need a big man, they don't need a super young player to develop alongside with him. So I think just taking Agbaji here is a safe play. They get probably an NBA-ready player to, score 8 to 10 points per game in his rookie year. I just think he's a solid enough player to go 12 and add to a really young team already in OKC.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think he's going to be a pretty decent player. OKC already swung for the fences with Chet earlier. Yeah, they could definitely have another guard that could score off the bench. Maybe have a Devontae Graham type role for Ochai. I like that pick a lot at 12.
All right, number 13 is the Hornets.
The Charlotte Hornets are going to select America's center, as John Rothstein called him all year long, Mark Williams. This team doesn't have a rim-protecting center. The draft is before free agency. I know there's rumors that maybe Ayton could sign there. They could do a sign trade for Ayton because the Suns don't really want him anymore. So if they don't, they could do that. But, you have the 13th pick. If you're the Hornets, you need a center that has rim protection. Mark Williams is a 7-foot sophomore. Amazing shot blocker, 2.8 blocks per game. And he's been working on his jump shot and workouts. I've been hearing that he really wants to add a jump shot to his game. It looks pretty good when he shot once in a while at Duke. So if he's a rim-protecting big man that can hit those mid-range jumpers just like Ayton, that's the missing piece of the Hornets because they have their backcourt, LaMelo, Rozier. They have Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward. The wings are solidified. They just need that center because their defense was awful last year. And Mark Williams could develop alongside that young team and become a good player, I think.
Okay, they do have the 15th pick. You think they would take him 13 instead?
I guess so. I mean, he might be there at 15. He's supposed to go in that range, but I just took him here at 13. Probably gonna be a late lottery pick, so it's a need for them.
Mm-hmm. All right, now the last pick of the lottery. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers, of course.
Will they select Anthony Bennett?
I know, maybe they might select somebody worse. That's always
Probably.
possible. And with the 14th pick and the last pick of our draft here in 2022, the Cleveland Cavaliers select.
Shout out Stern.
Yeah. Ousmane Deng.
Who is
the
that?
forward out of New Zealand. He's only 19. He's one of the youngest players in the draft. He averaged 7 with his team overseas and 3 rebounds per game. To me, I just feel like this is going to be the Josh Giddey effect. I don't know if you can let a player like this fall out of the lottery if he's projected to go this high. I feel like you just saw what Giddey was able to do last year. Obviously, they're not the same position. Deng is 6'10". He is, a big man versus kind of a tall guard, which is what Giddey is. But I just think they played probably in a similar league. It's the similar storyline potential. And Cleveland, I mean, they love to draft big men. They already have a pretty tall team. So to go with Evan Mobley, they can add Deng here, who I think probably, I guess this is a good range for him to go in. I don't know if he'll go any higher, but for him to fall out of the lottery, I feel like it would be a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a quick prediction. This guy's gonna be out of the league in 3 years.
Yikes, okay.
Sorry. He's supposed to go 9th year. Yeah, he averaged 7. Yeah, I mean, if you struggle in the NBL, you might not be a good NBA player. I mean, at least Giddey and LaMelo were good in the NBL. RJ Hampton was okay in it, but RJ Hampton's not a great player himself. It says he has shades of prime Chandler Parsons. I don't know if Chandler Parsons had a great prime. I don't know if that's
No, he was good.
He was pretty good. Evan Turner, another thing, Brandon Ingram. It does say one of the highest upside prospects in the draft, thanks to his blend of size and smooth shot creation. But he's yet to prove he can score efficiently. Yeah, I mean, 7 points, 21%. He's definitely a project, and I do like that swing at the end of the lottery for Cleveland. He'll probably go higher in IRL. But for our sake, I'm not taking someone who's going to be out of the league in 3 years, like I mentioned. This dude is garbage. We need that clip.
Yeah, wait. I was trying to find this dude is a fraud, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I think he's a fraud.
I love this kid.
No, I don't love this kid. I love Shaden Sharp and Ivy, but
Are you brain dead?
All right, let's read the whole list. We need it for we need this for a TikTok, honestly. I mean, I'll just spoil it right here.
And a graphic.
Yeah. You could do it. You can go down the list.
All right, so number 1, Magic, take Jabari
hold on.
Smith.
We have to set it up properly. We have to set it up.
All right.
All right, so this is our mock draft for the... All right, I'll start over. This is our 2022 NBA mock draft.
Lottery edition, let's go. Magic, take Jabari Smith first. 2nd, Chet Holmgren to the Thunder. 3rd, Paolo Banchero to the Rockets. 4th, the Knicks make a trade up for Jaden Ivey with the Kings. The 5th pick, Shaden Sharp to Detroit. 6th, Keegan Murray to
Indiana.
Yeah. Keegan Murray to Indiana. AJ Griffin 7th to Portland. Benedict Mathurin 8th to the Pelicans. Number 9, Dyson Daniels back to the Pacers because they make a trade. Malcolm Brogdon is a Spur for along with Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker gets shipped to Indiana, so Indiana has another pick to get Dyson Daniels. 10th, Johnny Davis to the Wizards. 11th, this is the Kings pick with the trade with the Knicks. They get Jalen Durant out of Memphis. 12, Ochi Ayagbe. Did I say that right?
I think it's Agbaji. I don't know.
Agbaji. What team is this?
This is the Thunder.
Ochi Agbaji to the Thunder. 13. Ozeme Dang. Rounding it
Almost.
out.
I guess. I don't know how to say it.
Or no, Mark Williams, 13th to the Hornets. And finally, the last pick to Larry Cleveland gets Ozme Dieng. And that is your mock draft.
Tremendous.
Wait, I was actually looking at the Ringer mock draft guide. We didn't pick this player because he's not going to be a lottery pick. Well, there's a guy in this draft, and his name is
I think I know what you're going to say.
Nikola Jovic.
Yeah.
What?
One
His
letter
name-
off the MVP.
It looks like it doesn't really look like him. I capped. He actually has black hair. He looks nothing like him. That'd be so funny if he looked
Yeah,
like
and
him.
he's skinny.
And guess what team he plays on? Mega Basket. Like, this isn't a real team.
Mega basket.
He's 19. It says shades of Danilo Gallinari, not Nikola Jokic. Late bloomer, grew up playing guards, 6'9", 19. He's going to be drafted, and everyone's going to be memeing on Twitter. Wow, what a fall off. What a fall off. Ty Washington is 30th on KOC's mock, and he was supposed to be he was supposed to be a secured lottery pick most of the year. I think teams just really don't like how he played down the stretch. It says shades of Emmanuel Quickley. I think Quickley's better, so yeah, that makes sense. He quickly went in the 20s.
Okay, do we want to do a little Kyrie Irving cleanup here at the end?
Sure.
All right, so you know the news by now. Kyrie Irving rumored to be opting out of his deal with the Nets. We'll talk about if we believe that or not. But some teams that are interested in him, rumored to be both Los Angeles teams, the Clippers and the Lakers, and the New York Knicks. And no, I think this is BS. I think this whole story is fake.
Yeah,
I don't think any...
So he's staying, you think?
I don't think any of the teams have interest in him.
Yeah.
I think we will see Kyrie
There's no
Irving
way that the
opt
Knicks are going
in.
to get him. Yeah, he's
There's
going
no
to
way.
opt in.
And look, I mean, the Knicks are trying to make the playoffs, whatever. I mean, it's interesting if you can
I
get
don't want
Kyrie.
him.
I mean,
I
we'll
want
see
Jay
what
and
happens with
Ivy.
that. But the Clippers and the Lakers, they are trying to win a championship. Okay, and we saw what Kyrie Irving did to the Nets' attempts to win a championship. Okay,
Yeah.
he freaking blew it up from the inside. So
Like, he went
if
in the
you're
Death Star and
Clippers,
dropped the bomb.
the Clippers were a playing team. They're getting their 2 stars back next year. A top 10 player in the NBA in Kawhi, a fringe top 10 in PG. They're going to be just fine. They have a chance to make a finals run with just them. And the Lakers, I mean, I guess you could swap them for Westbrook. What kind of disaster that would be. But I don't know why they would disrupt their roster that much again to bring in Kyrie and have LeBron and Kyrie reunite. I don't know if that's what either of them want. So I don't know. I just feel like these teams, in the pursuit of a championship,
Why would
trying
you want
to make
him?
a run. Why
Maybe
would
the
you want him?
Lakers. But why would the Nets accept Westbrook and a bunch of garbage for Kyrie?
Just because they just hate Kyrie and just want it over.
I guess. Westbrook, that'd be the biggest storyline of the year.
Is Kyrie and LeBron and Westbrook and
Are-
Durant
Yeah, they're back
in
together.
2023?
Imagine if they met in the finals.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Yeah, that won't. Yeah, Kyrie Irving. I don't want him anywhere near my next team. I want my next point guard to be Jay and Ivy on the opening night or Donovan Mitchell. LeBron, I could see him maybe going to Lakers, but he's just gonna opt in and take the money. Like, this dude just wants attention. We've seen this too many times. Because then Kevin Durant's gonna leave if they don't have Kyrie. Like, it's just gonna be a mess in Brooklyn. But I think they're gonna stay together and try to win a chip.
Yeah, seems likely. And then we'll see what the Nets do after next year. You know, they probably won't re-sign him. So
Yeah.
we can go anywhere. All right, that'll do it for episode 7. A little bit longer mock draft.
Wait, what is this Curry versus LeBron thing?
Oh, you want? We could save that for next time. We went long
Sure.
enough. That was if we
Sure.
didn't have enough things.
All right,
All right, that'll do it for episode 7 of
Thank
the
you guys for
Bona Fide
watching.
Scrubs.
Check out the mock on the should be a graphic too. Check out all the TikToks that'll be coming.
All right. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you after the draft.
Peace.